Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. And this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous. And here's your story. Dear Ollie, I've been trying to get my thoughts together for this story for a long time, and it's still pretty much a big clusterfuck tangle of all the different relationships I've had in my life that are extensions of the shitty childhood that I got to start with. I've had a hard time pinning a lot of this down because there are a few examples of extremes that resembles the kinds of things I've heard in the stories that other people have sent you. But there are enough, I think, to compare. I could be wrong, and it could be me, like I always end up thinking it is. But the more I listen and learn and think about things, the less convinced I am that I am the problem. I have a problem, or rather problems for sure, but I think my problem is that I keep getting myself into relationships with people like this. I'm super bad at taking advice, so I'm not going to ask for advice from you, but I appreciate your insights and the clarity that you bring to the issues, and I'm hoping for as much of that as you're willing to give. I gotta break this whole mess down into parts because I don't want to write you a novel and make you read it when you've already said how hard it is on your voice. So basically, it's best to start at the beginning with my parents. My mom and dad met while they were both in the army. They fucked around and my mom ended up getting pregnant. I don't have a lot of details about either one of them, so mostly I'm just putting pieces together from what I have learned. I don't think they were dating per se, but maybe they were. Whatever the case, I was a big and unwelcome oops for both of them. My parents got married 3 months before I was born. My dad likes to joke about how he saved me from being a bastard. I don't like a lot of memories from when I was young. I don't have a lot of memories from when I was young. The earliest memory I do have is of my brother, who is a year and a half younger than me, having a tantrum in a parking lot when he was 2 or 3, and my mother putting me in the car and getting in it with me and driving away. I remember she circled the parking lot and went back for him, to my enormous relief, but she drove away, Ollie. My mother did that to me. Would leave me places on purpose to scare me. She said that she kept an eye on him in the mirrors the whole time, but she drove away. Someone could have snatched him in a second. He could be dead now. This is my earliest memory, and explains a lot of why I never tried to fight her on anything. My brother did fight. I wouldn't. I know she used to beat our asses with a belt for being noisy. I don't remember the beating so much as I remember the way my brother would scream and thrash and cry about how she was hitting his legs, not his butt. And I remember wishing he would just hold still because it would have been over sooner. His fight just pissed her off more. But it's probably the reason why she decided that we were too big to spank when I was 11. I was very petite, but my brother's not, and I was starting to reach her height. Whenever I would ask for anything from a store, I would get some bullshit roundabout way of saying no, like, if we leave and the next time we come back it's still here, then it's fate and you can have it. Or if you can live without it, then you don't need it. Yeah, I used to hear all that type of bullshit. The next time. Do note the rules only sometimes apply to her, and need could be translated as just really, really liking something, but only for herself. I never got to pick a single article of clothing for myself until I was 16, and one of my mom's friends asked to let her take me to a garage sale to pick from some really nice things that were super cheap. That really meant a lot to me for once to be able to wear something that I chose. I don't think I wore anything else except for those things for a long time, like a year or two. Of course, my things weren't really mine, though. Almost as soon as I got them, she claimed the skirt that I had gotten that was just a little too big, but had a drawstring so I could still wear it. She swore up and down she bought it for herself somewhere and that it had been hers all along. This is the game. See, I didn't have to play that game because my mother couldn't wear, my clothes. I was a boy, a man. This is what Charlene's mother. This is what Charlene's mother would do to her. Charlene couldn't have anything in her house because her mother would instantly claim it and say it was hers. And she did this right into her 20s, where she was working at Macy's, okay? And at Macy's, you'd get what's called, or you work in retail, in cosmetics, not only Macy's, any retail cosmetics, you get what's called gratis. And gratis is when the vendors like a Lancome or an Estee or a fragrance line will give the employees this free gratis for themselves to use. It's kind of part of their salary. It's a weird thing. They don't pay for it. They get it for free for personal use. It's called gratis. The thing with gratis is, okay, it has to be taken out of stock. It has to be marked down to 0. And every employee has their own gratis number then, because the cosmetics manager engraves the employee, the associate's number, their gratis number, onto the bottles. No boxes. You don't get the box. You just get the bottle with the fragrance, with the gratis, with the SKU numbers removed, and your gratis number engraved on it. So it's marked out. Okay. Her mother was claiming she bought these gratis items that Charlene was getting for. No, I bought them. She's like, do you see this? Do you see this engraved number? This means it's mine. This is mine. Don't matter. Didn't matter. Didn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of proof you have with these people. They're going to take your shit. They're going to claim your possessions. They're going to claim your body. They're going to claim your life. It's pointless to fight it. It's pointless to fight it. You're talking a woman here, okay, who's standing there arguing, no, I bought this with with Charlene's gratis number engraved on the bottles. That's the level that these sociopaths go to. I think if she'd been able to fit more of my things, she would have done the same with them too. Half of my tiny closet was full hers and half my dad's stuff, and they never wore stuff they never wore and never even looked at the whole time I lived with them. So was my brother's closet. Same in my house. My mother had shit in everybody's closet. My mother had a section in every person in the house's closet with her shit. That's one thing that never fit from the examples I have heard here on your channel. As far as I can tell, there was no golden child between me and my brother. She pretty much ignored us both, except when she wanted to come and scream at my brother and growl in my face for an hour. One video you posted of the German woman talking at the guy for his son not having a license yet or something. That's what it was like between me and my mom. She would stand and fucking bitch at me about how I was lazy and thoughtless and inconsiderate and how she wasn't my fucking slave. Oh, God, how I had to hear how my mother wasn't my fucking slave. Like, really? Okay, because on most slave plantations I know about, the slaves don't get to beat up on the master. You know, that typically doesn't happen. And how I don't have any reason to be angry or depressed or stressed, because what do I do all day? Just go to school and come home. I shouldn't have to take a nap after school because I can't possibly be tired. If anyone is tired or stressed or angry or depressed, it's her, for having to go to work and then come home and deal with me and my brother. It's all on you. Yeah, this is the same fucking. It's the same playbook they run. They all run the same playbook. You're not allowed to be tired. You only go to school. You're a kid. It's all great for you. It's all great for you, and woe is me. She only asked rhetorical questions. Sometimes she demanded an answer anyway, so she could use the answer as ammunition in her tirade. I don't know how many times I heard, "Look at me when I'm fucking talking to you. Don't cut your eyes at me. You better wipe that hateful look off your face before I slap you." Pretty much the same lines. Same lines I heard. With my brother, it would turn into a screaming match back and forth that could go on for an hour or longer until my dad was home. If you're wondering where he is in all this, he stayed in the military until he retired, so he spent a number of years overseas. When he retired, he became a cop, but that didn't work out. He went down to work on the border patrol in Texas. He was home long enough to make it clear he wasn't interested in anything that was going on in the house unless it became annoying for him while he was watching TV. He tried bribing my brother and I into doing our chores with the promise that we could have computers in our room. But here's the thing, Ollie, we did do our chores. We just could never do them well enough or soon enough for my mom. There's the carrot on the end of the string. There's the carrot. See, your dad's another promise maker. Another promise maker, and then rip it out. Goals you'll never reach. When I wash the dishes, the next thing is, well, why didn't you wipe the counters? If I wipe the counters, well, why didn't you clean the stove? If I clean the stove, why didn't you take apart the fucking faucet and scrub off the lime scale? If I did that, then the floor could have been cleaned. If I did that, then the laundry could have been done, or fucking china could have been dusted. I could have vacuumed. It never fucking ended. And it was always more than what she actually asked us to do. So it was a game of her trying to read her mind, or just assume that you're the slave servant and keep cleaning until you can see your face in the fucking carpet. And he knew that. That's why he quit fucking helping her a long time ago, or so he said. So, of course, it came down to one day while we were at school, after she bitched to him about how lazy, unhelpful me and my brother were, he wiped our hard drives. No backups, all our saved games, all our music, all our homework, gone. That was the day I decided it wasn't worth it to accept a gift from them either. I had to take the computer out in my room and never ask for it back. The only notable thing I can remember from my dad was that during one of my mom and brother's screaming matches while he was home, he intervened by slapping my brother and telling him not to talk to his mother like that. My dad, the cop who likes to post on Facebook all that bullshit about taking care of other people's family while he sacrifices his own home life. Yeah, by the way, he quit being a cop because the local stations were corrupt. They probably were, but the irony. My mom made me go take care of an older lady after hip surgery. I was 14, 15, I think. She always pushes me into some kind of caretaking position, even now. But I'll get to that in another story. So with this lady, she was a friend of my dad's, because that lady sat on city council meeting against my dad after he shot someone's dog during a drug bust. He never spoke to her again after that. Maybe that's fair, maybe it isn't. Don't know, don't really care. I didn't really like that lady. I was supposed to stay for a week and take care of cooking, cleaning, and helping her into and out of the bath. The first day I was there, I was watching TV with the lady. I didn't know what time she eats, and I hadn't ever had to take care of another adult besides my mom, so I didn't think to ask. 5 o'clock rolls around. Instead of asking me to go ahead and start making dinner, she calls my mom to tell her what a lazy piece of shit I am. Nice. And my mom, instead of asking her if she asked me to start, just told me, Well, ladies her age don't like to ask for things. So I guess I was just supposed to know, and I was just supposed to be okay with being called lazy for not being able to fucking read minds. Once I understood when she expected her meals, we didn't have any other problems. But I haven't ever forgotten that she called my mom to tattle on me like a fucking toddler instead of asking me like a goddamn grown up. Same way my mom treated me. Well, yeah, they all take clues from your main abuser of how to treat you. When I started high school, I think I was about the time my mom added making dinner to the list of things I was expected to do every day after school. She used to yell at me pretty regularly for not having dinner started when she got home because I would pass out after school a lot. I was skipping breakfast and lunch most days because we only had cereal for breakfast and all the sugar made me feel sick in the morning. And at lunch, I could either spend a little time with a few friends or go eat in the cafeteria. They wouldn't eat in there, and I was almost never allowed out of the house. So I chose to be hungry and used whatever money I made babysitting to eat garbage out of the vending machines. So yeah, when I got home most days, I was exhausted. People said I ate like a bird. I was pretty skinny, but not emaciated, so no one worried about it. I'm sorry all this is totally out of order and is getting pretty long. It's really hard to put things in chronological order with everything all broken up and jumbled in my head. So you're just getting it as it comes, but I'll wrap this one up with the memory that sticks with me most. It's from my high school years, the last one to be exact, but it took some building up to get to that point. So I'll give you that first. See, I'm not particularly friendly and I have a pretty good resting bitch face going on. It was much worse in high school, but it's not much improved, to be honest. In high school, I figured there wasn't much point in trying to be friendly and make new friends with people who were just going to leave at the end of the year anyways. So I didn't try. And I typically walk around smile, and I don't typically walk around smiling for no reason. I didn't have any reasons, so yeah, one guy actually told me that I scared him, looking all grouchy and aloof all the time. That's why he never talked to me. I used to hear the same stuff, and I was raised the exact same way. Because what do you have to be happy about? You're waiting for everything to be ripped away from you. You're waiting for everything to be a manipulation and taken away, and it gets to the point where you just stop asking. You stop asking. When you stop asking for things, you stop actually wanting for things. And you actually almost stop dreaming about things and having fucking goals, which is what they want. They just want you living in that moment of what should I be cooking, cleaning, moving, doing for this fucking person. That's the point. I've become more and more convinced resting bitch face is a result of being raised by selfish narcissists like our parents. What did you have to be happy about? What do you have to walk around smiling about when when your own parents are looking to fuck you over at every turn, make you promises, take things away from you, delete your things that matter? Let me just be a happy asshole walking around. So I was kind of aware of that a bit about myself, and I figured that might be why no one ever asked me or invited me anywhere. So I tried asking a guy or two out. That, LOL, that didn't work. Scary face, right. Well, eventually a guy did ask me out, and even though I didn't think very much of him, I decided to give him a shot. That did not end well, and it was the first in a series of train wrecks. I'm not going to go into details about all of them because although they were hurtful and unpleasant, they weren't altogether the most damaging things that have happened. I will say briefly that this guy was also the first guy that I slept with. We dated for like 6 months. As far as all the fucking bullshit that I dealt with from him, like not acknowledging my existence when I was standing right in front of him after saying hello to him in front of his friends. Well, I grew up Catholic. You don't really love someone if you aren't willing to suffer for them. I can't roll my eyes and text, but yeah, that's what I believed at the time. When I agreed to go out with him the first time, when I agreed to go out with him the first time was also the first time that I just told my mom where I was going instead of just asking. Asking always led to what have you done for me lately type of arguments, and almost invariably ended up with me not going anywhere. That's what I started doing. I just started like, I'm going, I'm leaving, bye. My brother had started just going to hang out with his friends after school without asking, and I figured if it was working for him, it was going to work for me. I think it surprised my mom that I just told her and didn't ask. She didn't know how to handle it. That's when the interrogation started. Of course, if I was going out with friends and a boyfriend and boyfriends now, it must be so I can do drugs and fuck around. I never did drugs, Ollie. Never drank. Never smoked. I still don't. And for a month or two, I didn't sleep with the guy I started seeing either. But that doesn't mean I wasn't guilty anyways. It didn't matter if I told the truth, I was lying. If she asked if I was smoking weed, my no wasn't good enough. She had to grab my hair and sniff it. She actually told me that my belt was on backwards one day when I got home. I put my belt on the same way every single time. But she caught me off guard with that because it was so, I don't even know what, absurd. I actually looked down just to make sure I wasn't crazy, and that was the proof I must have undressed at some point. Therefore, whore. So fuck it. I was damned if I did, and I was damned if I didn't. What fucking difference did it make? Might as well have a little fun. Can't understand why you would have a resting bitch face. After that, I did start lying about it. I mean, because this is still the woman who continuously threatened violence even if she hadn't acted on it in a long time. This is still the woman who left my baby brother to die for having a tantrum. I should have remembered that and kept it a little closer to the front of my mind, because one night she told me to get in the car and proceeded to drive me around in the dark, screaming at me and crying hysterically. If it had been me, I wouldn't have been able to see the road, so I know she couldn't either. She said that if I didn't tell her the truth, that I was sleeping with my boyfriend at the time, she was going to run the car into a light post and kill us both. I believed her, so I told her what she wanted to hear. If it hadn't been the truth at that point, it wouldn't have mattered. That particular memory is the measure by which I compare her behavior now, because after I graduated, I moved in with someone else and didn't talk to her again for almost 3 years, I think. Who I moved in with is a whole other story, which I will save for another time. I didn't know anything about narcissism or emotional abuse, so not talking to her was more a product of the new situation I was in and me still being angry with her, for threatening to kill me along with the rest of it. But I did start talking to her again eventually over the phone, and when I got divorced, I moved back in with her and my dad. I had only just started learning about emotional abuse at that point and all the different ways people manipulate. So with her behavior now, I can still see where and when she's manipulating and guilting me, even though she never yells or threatens me anymore. It's hard, Ollie. It's hard because I want to believe that she's actually trying to do better. Maybe that's even true, but she can't fucking stop manipulating and guilting me. If I try why are you still there? Like, why? If I try to bring up anything about how she raised me, it's, I didn't know better. All the stuff I read was contradictory and confusing. You wouldn't do anything that said, what else was I supposed to do? I'm sorry, but you gotta move on. Really? I gotta move on? Hey, how about we take a ride in the car? Why don't you take her for a ride in the car and drive her around the parking lot until she admits what she did? Maybe you should do that. You got to let this go. You got to trust somebody. Don't doubt that I love you. Don't doubt that I love you. Don't doubt that I love you, Ollie. From a woman who threatened to kill me. I got to just trust someone. And you know what? She's right about that. But not her. not her. Right, because she's setting you up to be her servant for life. That's what. Now you've been divorced, you're hurt, you're wounded, and she's going to fucking bring you right back in and make you that servant that she always wanted you to be. There's a lot more to say, but this is long already. Thank you for what you do here and for helping me see more clearly what it looks like from the outside. I still have a hard time with the cognitive dissonance and trying to denormalize it. It would be easier if my mom was less concerned with how other people think of her and if she hadn't tried to hide it as much as she did. She likes to think of herself as helpful and caring and self-sacrificial. She certainly made it clear for me that she gave up all her dreams to have me, ungrateful brat that I am. All her dreams? What dreams? She was in the military and she got knocked up. I'm in therapy still trying to sort this all out. I want to send you a few other stories as well, but not today. When I can, I want to start contributing monthly. But for now, it's only with stories until I can afford more. Thank you again for this channel and for your insights and opinions. You're still living with her. You got to figure out a way to get out and get out now. Okay? This I didn't know any better bullshit. They had computers, okay? They're not growing up in the 40s and the 50s. You had computers, the internet. What do you mean you didn't know any better? What do you mean you didn't know any better? When the narcissist says they don't know any better, they're fucking lying. Leave. That's bullshit. What do you mean you didn't know any better? What does that mean you didn't know any better? Why don't you drive her around in a parking lot until she admits what she did, until she admits that she's been sabotaging you and she's still trying to sabotage you to make you into some kind of dutiful servant. That's what she's doing because they always help you when you're down. They get you at your low point, hoover you back in. You are right to not talk to her for 3 years and you should have never started again. Resting. No wonder you had resting bitch face. What did you have to be happy about? What do you have to be happy about to walk around smiling? Nothing. Resting bitch face is a gift from the narcissist. It just is. So, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for your contribution and your story, Anonymous. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to have a private video made, or you'd just like to make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all of this goes away, and YouTube and Google are going to make that happen eventually, sooner than later. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to follow me on the Library Backup app. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.